Hi guys, it's Jen with Unchained Crochet, back again with another FO, and I am loving it. This is my can't wait pocket wrap. So they are all the rage right now. I just wanted to show you mine. There are a lot of lovely patterns out there, but you can have a look at this. Love it, so cozy. So let me pause this and I'll sit down and we'll chit chat. Apologize if it irritates you that this is in this position, but I needed it that way to show you the full length of the garment on me. I don't currently have anything brown to wear with it, so I'll be on the hunt for a nice brown top and probably some pants, if not jeans. So this was a very easy project. I got it done in a few days. I just finished it up today and sewed the pockets on, made the tassels, sewed those on. The crochet part of it took maybe 2 days. So I just want to briefly describe how I did it. If you want to request a tutorial, you can. I can't promise that I'm going to make one anytime soon. This is such a simple project that I think just with explanation you should be able to figure it out and make one for yourself, even if you're fairly new to crochet. So it has half double crochet widthwise, and let me measure this, drop my tape measure. I believe I made it. See, what I do when I start out with a project that I'm designing for myself, I typically make my chain almost as long as I want the piece to be. So I made it, you know, X wide. And I'll end up sometimes, as I did with this project, with a few extra chains at the end. I just did my first row of half double crochet through the back loop only. And when I got to as wide as I wanted it, that's where I stopped. So I had those extra chains to take out at the end and then bury the tail. So not a big deal undoing your chains. And you could even fudge adding a few stitches if you need to. Just going in and doing foundation chain or half double crochet. So it is 18 inches wide, and here's how I'm going to measure the rest of it. My old mom showed me how to do this method. There's 1 yard, so that's 3 foot. Here's another 3 foot. I'm not stretching it, just gently holding it. And there's another 3 foot. So it is 9 foot 6 about. So once you just determine your width and you start doing your half double crochet rows, just keep on going. What I did was tried mine on to see that it's going to fall where I wanted it to fall. I kind of wanted the tassels to fall right over my hips. So I just kept trying it on, when I thought I was getting close, and I was like, oh, another 28 rows, oh, another 28 rows. So it ended up being about that. I did not fuss with the color too much. There was a break in the yarn sequence, I think, on this side over here where it didn't transition right. They had the dark brown tied to the white. I don't care. And that's where the pocket went anyway, so it's not too distracting. And so that's it for your half double crochet. Once you get it as long as you want it, try the piece on several times. And then you're going to do the same thing but in miniature form. You're going to determine how wide you want your pocket. I knew I wanted mine about 8 inches, 7 to 8 inches, and I chose to do a shell stitch because I know that stitch by heart, and did the same thing, made my starting chain about as wide as I wanted it, and then I had a chain or two left to undo and weave in later. So that's about 7 to 8 inches wide. Here, I'm going to measure it for you. And just a basic solid shell stitch I think looked nice. Change of texture, to go onto the plainer half double crochet. So it generally has a southwest look. It is 8 inches exactly. I just eyeballed it. So then I was a little bit pickier where I started this pocket because I wanted the pockets to fairly match. So, you know, they lined up nicely. So I started with the light tan. And I really love the texture, you know, that bit of texture that the pocket gives. This is also, the yarn is Ice Magic DK weight. But any kind of print would look nice. Any self-striping yarn would look nice as well. I like this yarn a lot. I like the weight of it. It's sport weight, so as bigger girls don't get too hot. It's not too weighted down when I have it on. So it's a nice transition piece, and I'm naming it Can't Wait because I can't wait for fall. I love fall. So next, once I got the pockets, you know, I crocheted till it looked like a square to me. I folded it in half, corner to corner. Yep, it's a square. So I made a second one to match. And then I determined where I wanted to place my pocket based on how I like to hold my arms. I don't like holding them way in here. I didn't want it way out here because it would kind of make the whole piece flare out. I wanted it to kind of, when I put my arms in and just relax, like having on a hoodie and putting your hands in that pocket, that it would kind of feel like that. And that's kind of how it hangs on me. So it kind of feels like I have my hands in a hoodie. Just a natural position for my arms to take. So that's how you're going to determine where to put your pockets. I put mine as far up, there's the bottom of the pocket, as far up as it is far away from the inside of the edge there. So I didn't care that it's offset, that you have more on that edge. I don't care. What I care about is how it's going to hang and drape on me when I have my hands in the pockets. And I felt like the shell stitch kind of made it a little bit sturdier of a pocket. And I think if I'd have done just the plain half double crochet instead of the shell, I think it would have just been boring. I like to mix textures and colors. Let's see, on to the tassels. This is my second time making tassels. I think I did a pretty good job. I like that they're kind of mismatched on all the corners here, but I just put 4 on the corners. And I made these by wrapping it around a Billy Graham book that I have. It's a hardback book, and I just like wrapped it 50 times. I held the tail, wrap it 50 times short ways around the book. And then where the pages, that side where there's a little divot, where the pages are, the spine of the book's down here, the pages are up here. That little divot, I took my yarn needle, once I got the 50, I took my yarn needle and just took the yarn around that bunch of the 50 wraps and did it fairly taut. So that kind of joined them all together right there. Then I slid it off the book. It was still in loops. I slid it off the book and I held it like a slingshot and took my scissors to the inside of the loop and cut it halfway. And then I trimmed them up a little bit more just to get them more even. I didn't trim them until this is the complicated part, explaining the tassel. I'm sure there's plenty of tassel videos out there for you to look up if you want to make your tassels, but that's how I got the top done. And then I slid it off. I cut my strands in half. And then this here looks like a little ghost. I took the yarn needle from here. I had a big long strand down through the middle of those loops, holding it in my hand like this. Took the yarn needle down through the middle and brought it out where I wanted it to land. And then I wrapped it like 4 times. And then pulling it, you know, even tension each time. And then placed a knot by going underneath the strands I wrapped. Place the yarn needle underneath those strands you wrap and wrap your yarn needle tip 3 times. And then pull the needle so that it makes a nice little knot. Now, what do you do with that knot? How do you hide that knot? I don't worry about it. It's not that noticeable. But the end of the yarn, what I did was I took and went down through and let the end come down here and trimmed it off. So every bit of yarn that you've joined it together with and wrapped it with is all tucked down in here and becomes part of the tassel. The yarn you started with, the tail you started with, the other end of that strand would be up here where you started wrapping the top of the tassel. And so it had a big long string. I then took that string and attached it to each corner and did the same thing. Tied the knot, you know, wrapping the needle 3 times after I secured it maybe 4 times to the corners, and then wrapped the yarn, made the knot, and then slid the needle down into the tassel, trimmed it off. So it's that easy. You get nice tassels that way. I like the length of them. I thought that they should be long to mimic, you know, the scale of the wrap. So it gives a nice lush look to it. So if you would like a tutorial, I will consider it. Just leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Any thoughts or even any tweaks you think I could make that would improve it, let me know. Nice chatting with you guys. Hope you guys had a great day. Bye.